Hello, everybody. My name is Christian Mancia, and this is an in-editor playthrough video of how I made for my latest level, my latest build for my level, which I called Tower Exile. It's had many different versions before. This is about the fifth version or fourth version. I had just a regular map with pieces from the Deco map from UDK, put it together, made this cool little factory. Um, but now I had it have it into a fully working level with an objective and everything, which you can see from there, but I'll get to that step by step. So yeah, so the player starts off over here. This is where the is right here. Let's put on some real time to see how the particles look effect. Got a lot of triggers for a lot of camera enablers and enablers for the particles and everything. Pretty much just triggers and matinees is what I'm using the whole time. So player steps up to this tree, has a fast camera zoom of where he wants to go. I have like a view going like this up to the tower. So that's in gameplay, so it's easier to see that way. But yeah, so that was just to show the player of like where he wants to go. That's sort of a goal in mind. I don't say anything yet, but I just have a camera view, so the player walks through here, and I have all these triggers that enable explosions, left and right, all craziness. And then when the player reaches this trigger right here, the main trigger I have for my level, which enables this huge explosion from these pieces right here. And I have a camera that goes up to here and looks at it. And then after that happens, it causes this. I have the pieces to sit at each kind of walkway here, so the player is kind of forced to go a certain way. Because right now there's besides these things on you, you could just walk through there and beat the level. But I have it after that explosion that happens up here. Um, the player's pathways are all blocked, so he's kind of forced to go another way. And I have it where this opens up after all that matinee ends, and the player is able to walk across. Um, I also want to have this slime hurt the player, so he can't just walk over and kind of cheat all my hours of work. But but anyway, so after that matinee happens, I have a lot of static meshes that kind of enable the player to not be able to jump over, which I've had some problems in the beginning, so I had to redo that a bunch of times. So yeah, so the player is what I want him to see is that he wants to get there. So he's forced to go through this way. Some things fall, and then this door, there whatsoever. So you can has this pathway to build up where I have some wires and fires, and I have some lights, choggable lights that flicker and everything. Um, Really cool effect. So when you get that going, you can get some interesting flickering lights, flames. You can't really see right now because it's all in editor mode, but in game, I have a playthrough of a level on YouTube, so you can check that out if you want. So yeah, the player is forced to go in here. All the sparks and wire. It's kind of like a secret hidden way. I've got some more debris here after all the explosion. Player is forced to go through here. Got some triggers for camera shakes. Here's kind of cool. I have a big trigger that enables a radio impulse actor. That kind of when that's triggered on anything within its radius. If it's a K actor, at least the static mesh has to be a K actor. No other version, not a mover, doesn't work either. It has some physics to it, so I have it where it triggers it, explosion happens, and all these things fall apart. It's actually a very cool effect, and not too hard to do. And you can change all the settings within the radio impulse actor itself, and of course a million other settings. So anyway, so after player triggers this big explosion, it's kind of a little hard to get here. All the pipes fall over, so he has to jump through here. It gets down here, and then it comes down to the first. It's kind of cool. Um, that which actually was an accident because the water was. I built this mesh before the water, and it kind of has a little cool effect on it. But anyway, so yeah, here's the first switch. I have a trigger telling player to press E on the switch as its default by UDK when you have a trigger that's used. So the player presses E over here. He opens this gate. I have this little mesh that comes down after that. Where is it? It's like right here somewhere. Right here. Hidden. So because I couldn't figure out how to do it, is how to have a mesh come down on a matinee, and then having like it was just a little weird in matinee and kismet to control it after the matinee was done. But I figured it out after a while, so that took a little bit. But here's I have it kind of ugly. I actually have another interrupt actor underneath to replace that one because I didn't know how to work it. So it actually comes up when this one comes down, and I have the camera kind of looking away from it, using a little trick to trick the gamer into thinking that it's the same one, but it actually isn't. Anyway, so he goes up on this little that little base that comes down and takes him across here, across the map. Has him come down here, and I have him where he kind of sees that on that and wants to go over there. So I have the player come over here, have a switch, and this switch turns off these particles here, and the gates go down so the player can come. But after that big explosion that I had up here, um, all the debris was here. So the player's kind of coming over here. He's like, well, I can't get over there. What am I going to do? So when he comes over there, I have a trigger, this trigger. Triggers some matinee here that have explosions and static meshes coming all over. So at the end of it, I have it forming a kind of bridge. So the player is able to kind of go over here and walk over. Like again, you can't really see in all this, it's in game, but just showing you how my workflow, how I kind of wanted to get him from A to B. So he comes over here, pushes this switch, which enables this little clef here. Kind of raises up. I have like some particles on it. Make it look kind of cool. Comes up here, jumps on him, and then it takes him like zigzag, really crazy speed, which I wanted to have. I wanted to have it kind of like some kind of Aztec little towers that are all kind of you've seen in games, and you go on platforms that get all crazy speed like that. I have a camera view of it going like this way over here. Pretty cool. And then it finally takes him over here, all over everything, into the final door. And then the player walks up here, opens the final door to the portal, which is pretty much the end of the level. And this portal, I have a trigger over here that enables it to go on this crazy little camera view of like traveling in space, something like that. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So after that, the level's done and the player's off in space now. Well, anyway, that was a quick run through of how to get from A to B to C, the way I think, I guess. So, yeah. Thanks for watching Tower Exile. Good night.